It's actually not bad today. It's like orange juice in here, so it makes it easy to have some.
You didn't like kisses?
No, every day this time it's good.
Sorry. Okay, so we're in the text and we're going through some debates about how it is that a self could be one and the same with the body and mind, right? Remember?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So what are and remember there were 3 logical problems that ensued from the self being one and the same with the body and mind. And that was our last question in the last quiz. So this time we're diving in, Chudi Lama dives more deeply into the 3 logical problems and gives us some absurd consequences and so on. So, first question. What are 3 absurd consequences in the first logical problem, where a self to exist is one and the same with body and mind?
Oh boy. Okay. Yeah, 3 absurd consequences. The first logical problem.
One of them, I think, was that you couldn't refer to them. Yeah. They're referred to as 2 different But isn't one of them if there'd be no reason to call something a body or mind?
That's the logical problem in general.
But that's not the absurd.
But so then there are 3.
Yeah, who's that you have to have 5?
Yeah.
Who's supposed to take on a body and mind if your body?
There's nobody who can take
Yeah.
your body and mind.
There would be no one to take on body and mind.
All right.
What?
Very good.
The me could not die before the next rebirth, else what takes yeah.
Else what takes? Oh, yeah.
And if it's not the body and mind that takes the next birth, then the me cannot take on body and mind.
Okay. Now I think.
So here, the second, Seiji, this is for you. What are the 2 absurd alternatives
They would take 5.
in the second logical problem where a self to exist is one and the same with the body and mind? So if like Seiji said, if the self with the body and mind, there have to be 5 me's, or
A 16.
no. Or,
The opposite, just the opposite.
yeah, since there's only one me, there can only be one part.
One heat,
All right. Yeah.
I think.
Okay, so now the third logical problem. Is there any problem with the me starting and stopping? This is basically a 2-part answer.
It would have to be born again and again.
So in general, is there a problem with starting and stopping with this?
No.
General?
Yeah, there is, which is frustrating because we said that it
Well,
would be.
Mama said in general, there's no problem.
Can Udpala come and go out of existence?
Sure.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
And she does.
Sure. Yeah, no problem. But that was also one of the problems that we gave.
Just in class, I fade out, I come back.
That you can be born,
I should say.
you can grow from baby to adult.
But if the self is one and the same with the body and mind, then starting and stopping would have to be
Nice.
ultimate.
Yeah.
Which leads to 4 problems. And I'm hoping I got the 4 problems correctly. You're born full grown, you're unchanging, you take all 6 types of birth, and you take all your future births at once.
Like,
That's the one.
Count 10.
yeah, right.
Whatever.
You can make up any
Yeah.
word, just do
Or
it.
whatever. What the hell?
Whatever. Yeah, because you can say you can say anything. Yeah, okay.
TV.
Right, then
You're
monkeys would
monkey.
fly out.
Here's not the end.
In this case, it's not destroyed, never died.
Without having
Never
died
died
yet.
yet.
Tuna.
If we were to collect this,
Yeah.
Close.
We're gonna abbreviate
If
this.
some.
Yeah, it's summarized. Okay.
Sorry, I didn't come up with great words because we just use the same
These are
words. We
great
can use it
words.
over and over.
man,
Yeah,
look
yeah.
at these words. I tell you.
Sexy words.
This one's
Admittedly,
hard.
There's no problem.
Admittedly.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should wait till she offers some money.
She's not.
I know.
She's gonna
Hey, wait, how do you
Wait.
interpret this one?
This is, you'd be taking on all your births at the same time.
Oh,
There'd be 6
okay.
Ah,
births.
Right,
max
right.
headroom.
You would be taking on all of your future sunglasses at the same time.
Unfortunately, I'm also dated.
You okay?
It's falling.
I know.
Pull it out.
Yeah, no, I think I need it.
Put it back.
Yeah. Okay, thanks. All right. Here we go. I will take the airplane.
I don't think so.
Do you want to tell Sangsarima about your text?
Um,
They all have a different text. 10 different schools.
yeah, so the next.
What's your text?
So my text is Light on the Path of Freedom, written by Chin in probably the 1700s, early 1700s. And he was a teacher in a monastery, and
The best monastery.
in the best monastery, and he was a prolific writer. This was a text he wrote at the end, near the end of his life. And so, to me, it seems like it held great importance for him that he had to get this out before he left. And I sort of picture that he's teaching this to monks who've been studying for decades. And what he's doing is he's showing the distinctions between the different Buddhist philosophical schools with regard to the lack of the self nature to things. Because that's the thing that we need to see in order to reach enlightenment. And he wants to make sure that we get it. So this text is all about giving us pearls that we can meditate on and achieve that ourselves.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good. What's the genre?
I can't remember.
Dati, which means what?
Personal
It's kind of meditations on emptiness. Yeah. Which became a separate genre of text, became a separate kind of literature. Okay. So hers is the most practical text. You know, each text has its different flavor.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. By the way, we're in which section of it?
We're in the consequence school for Sankirtan.
Prasangika. Yeah. Okay. Good. Okay. Please read.
Deta nakvar chepana takme tokpe tawan nye parli yurte de nyepe se ni je sa che nyam she le.
Yeah. Let me do something here for Chinzong. She likes it. I think so.
Disabilities, damn
Mark. Okay, good. Data left Pachena. What's the che?
Examine.
Yeah, good. Nice.
Examination.
What's another che that might be confusing? SPY. So,
Activities.
yeah, good. Yeah. So don't confuse the two. This one spelling means examination. If you examine this point carefully, you will nyepa the dogme topetawa.
Find the viewpoint of selflessness.
Yeah, you will come to the view that things are not themselves. Your future tense, okay. Now this says a little bit hard,
Measure.
but what's it mean?
When you
With de
consider
niepa.
With respect to what you found when you
Huh?
Understand.
Here's a noun.
What you found.
The measure.
The measure of what.
Yeah, what's the point at which you've reached it? See, that's what it means. De niepe tse. What's the point at which you have reached that understanding? Okay, so okay, got it?
Yep.
What's the point at which you've reached it? How do you know you've reached it? At what point do you know you've reached it? Okay, set. Well, we can check J. Rinpoche's commentary to Tsawa Shiro, and it's traditional to misspell it. Okay, we take the S off. Okay, in which case it's not she anymore, it's she. Okay, sashe. So sashe. So this is Sawashira, Mula Prajna, right? And it's traditional to spell it this way. Okay, so Jetsam Cups, which is one of our books that we're translating. Oh, sorry, no. We're doing Chonin Lamas. Yeah, okay. Okay, so.
You just said pragnia. It's usually.
Well, Prajna.
Yeah.
Prajna.
Because a lot of people say pragnia.
It's a mistake. Yeah, Prajna. Yeah, it's more like the Russian. Okay. Yes, now you. Okay, here we go. So here's a quotation from Tsongkhapa's commentary on Nagarjuna. By the way, which was kind of early in his life, and illumination eclipsed this one. Okay, so here we go.
Thế thar ta krangi ngo juk na tak pom pom tan rang seni ki drupe chik tan pare kang rang juk badam.
Yeah, let's cut it here just for so you don't get indigestion. Teta dag ranking or tubna. If the self were to exist by some nature of its own, yeah. And then what proof are we in? Because we're going to switch proofs pretty soon.
Yeah, we did just switch, so none
No,
of
we-
my questions talked about the switch because we're only beginning, but now we've finished covering the problems with the self being one and the same with the body and mind, and now we're going on to the problems with the self being totally separate from the body and mind.
And then that whole proof is called what? Both parts together. It's called Chiktutra, okay? Commonly misspelled as Chiktutra, okay? And then he promised us a second whole proof.
Right, the 7 parts.
Good, the 7 parts of a car, the 7 parts of a chariot, which is the guts of the Milinda Paha, the questions of King Minendra, which I'd like to work on. We were going to work on it with Dennis, but he disappeared. Dr. Wu's old translator, because his father was a Pali scholar. But anyway, yeah, so normally you would think that the proof of one and many, what's the kaba there? Anybody for $30?
Well,
Something
if
isn't
it's
one, it
not
better be
one,
many.
then it can't be many.
No, if something exists,
Can't be one or many.
it must be one or more than one. That's all. I saved some $30 just now.
I feel like
Okay, if if something exists, it must be one or more than one. That's the kyaba. Okay. And they kind of cheat when they get to Duma. They just say it can't be many because it's
Not many ones.
yeah, it's not one. Okay, if something existed from its own side as more than one, it would have to be made up of ones that existed from their own side, and that's not possible. If you can prove that things are not one thing from their own side, then it's easy to prove that they're not more than one thing from their own side, because if they're more than one thing from their own side, they have to be many oneses from their own side. Okay, got it? And that's the normal way to do this proof. But our author decided to make it much more complicated, and he said to be Sunam is not to be her
The second part.
body and mind. Okay, it's not to be her body and mind. Is and this would go to Adam's text. Is it true that to be Sunam is to be Sunam's body and mind?
Well, that's
Yeah, on some level.
the first.
Yeah, if you don't say self-existently, if you don't say from its own side, okay. So, in his version of this proof, that's one. Okay, and then what's more than one? Yeah, to be Sunam is to be separate from her body and mind. So for him, that's more than one. Okay, chicken tade, and not just chicken tade, but ngo chicken, ngo tade. To be Sunam is to be her body and mind. Not that Sunam is one with her body and mind. That's a mistranslation. Okay, okay, cool. So we're on the. So Tsongkhapa says in his commentary, look, Sunam would have to be Sunam would have to be her body and mind, or to be Sunam would have to be separate from her body and mind. Karun to Drub Gut would have to be one or the other. He's restating the Kyama. Good. He's restating the necessity, okay? A logical necessity, okay? So Tsongkhapa's just restating that fact. Either to be her is to be her body and mind, or to be her is to be separate from her body and mind. Two choices. The second one is called more than one. Okay, got it? Let's cut it here. Okay. Go ahead.
Sorry, just trying to catch up.
Yeah.
이 칼랑 렉베 이니발 통화나 딱니 랑기 ngô 주바충 세 향메도 냠도 녜반 녜바
Nyepa, nyep. No, the first one is NG. Nyepa, nyepa. And the second one is high tone. Yeah. Nyepa, nyepa, nyepa. Okay. Nyepa, nyepa, ni. Both options. Nika, that's sunam. To be sunam is to be her body and mind, or to be sunam is not to be her body and mind. Both options are rikbe nupa.
Reasoning that
Hurt by logic.
Hurt by logic, meaning drawn into question by logic. Okay, or disproved by logic. Okay, so hurt with logic means drawn into question. Okay. Tawana, if you see that, then you have nyepa nyepa.
you have found certain
And that's the tse.
That's the measure.
Yeah, that's how you know you got there. How do I know I got there? When you see that both options are wrong, are illogical. When you see that both options are logical, and you come to nyam,
Understanding.
nuh-uh.
No, think.
Think to yourself, always. Nyam means think to yourself. When you think to yourself, hey, there doesn't exist
Even a little.
even a little bit of sunam that exists
from its own
No.
on her own. Okay, on her own.
Doable.
Now, we like to talk about a famous incident in the kitchen. We like to take it to your personal life. Okay? Who wants to do the kitchen? Seiji, you want to do the kitchen? Briefly. Can you do the kitchen?
Yeah.
Let's go. Tell the story. I'm drinking coffee. I promise not to interrupt you.
So imagine that you're the wife of a household and you get to work and take care of the kids and everything. So you're in one day you have a big meeting the next day and you tell your kids, be ready because tomorrow I need to leave early for work. And you tell them, tomorrow at 7 a.m. You guys need to be ready. Is that okay? Everybody's fine. And then you arrive and they're not even ready. They're jumping around.
The kids.
And you get your kids. And you get really angry. You say, you're the stupidest kids in Sedona. Then the next week, you forget about that. You're coming back from work and all you want is a loving hug from your husband. And as you arrive to your house, you open the door and your husband yells at you, you're stupid. And at that time you get angry and you yell back, no, you're stupid. But in this example, you forget that there's two husbands. One is the one that yells at you for no reason at all. And the other one is the husband that yells at you because you yelled at your kids last week. And that way you created this husband to tell you you're stupid. Now one of them exists and one of them doesn't exist. The one that exists is the one that comes from yelling at the kids last time. The one that doesn't exist is the one that you have, it wasn't your fault. And that's what we call the cycle of suffering. Because you yelled at your kids, then your husband yells at you, and you yell back. So then the next week, your kids will do the same thing, and you'll continue the cycle.
So that's samsara.
That's samsara.
What's the
husband?
What's the dependent origination? What's the dependent origination?
Yelling at the kids.
Yeah, causes the
Causes the
yelling husband. Where's the emptiness in the kitchen?
The emptiness is is that there is no husband that doesn't come from.
Good. There's no husband that you can say, it's not my fault, I didn't do anything, he just started yelling at me. What's the gakcha?
The gaksha.
What is the thing that emptiness is empty of?
So a husband that would yell at you for no reason at all.
Yeah, good. A husband who's not your fault. Where's nirvana in the kitchen?
When
hot chair.
Because when you stop yelling, when you understand that as the husband is yelling at you, it comes from your past actions and you stop yourself. You manage to stop yourself.
Okay, now I'm going to go more difficult. Now I'm going to go more difficult.
Yes.
What's the parts of the husband in the kitchen? The big parts, the important parts.
Body and mind.
Yeah, you could say body and mind, 5 heaps, body and mind. You could say noise and red face are his parts, right? So now, question for you from this text: is he his parts?
Yeah.
Which husband?
I'm saying the one that does exist, the
Oh.
dependent origination husband. The one, is he his parts or not? Is he the red face and the yelling?
Yeah, basically.
You could say yes. Now, is he the red face and the yelling from his own side? Yeah. And so you can say he's neither one nor many, you see? Is he his yelling and his red face, which is one? We say no, not by himself. And is he separate from his yelling and red face?
Not by himself.
Not by himself. So what does by himself mean in this case?
I didn't do anything.
Without my seeds.
From its own side.
Without my seeds. How does the seed unify the parts?
How?
What happens? When she opens the door to the kitchen, what happens? Yeah, a karmic seed, sanskara, opens. By the way, by that time it's a vasana because 8 and 9, right, Sugang? Have ripened the karma. Okay, so the karma is ripe, the seed opens, what happens then?
An image comes out of
An image comes out of the mind, and it combines the parts into
the yelling husband.
a yelling husband. So really the final part of all parts is the picture that came out of the karma. Because without that picture, he's just a red face and some noise. Okay, got it? So is he his parts or not? Is he his body and mind?
No, not without the seed.
Yeah, good. Not without the karma. Which is why the mother-in-law would come in and see a beautiful man. And saying something that his wife deserves. Okay, got it? Because her karma seed is different. Okay, so the final part of all things is the unifying picture that comes out of the karma. Okay, from yelling at the kids last week. Okay, cool. All right, so why are we talking about that? At some point, you realize that he's not. His parts, the red face and the bad noise, are not him. Mowidupa, without your seeds, okay? And that's when you understand the emptiness of the husband. Got it? Cool. That's the set
That's the measure
of having found
the point at which
a understanding of that there is no husband there. By himself, meaning without you yelling at your kids. Okay, got it?
What tone would you normally have in mind when you think about the luminous image?
Yeah, that's they call it Mingde Taktsam. Mingde Taktsam. Names and images.
Okay.
Yeah, very, very important. Things are not exist in name only. Name means that image. That's I say the Mingdang De Taktsam.
Would that be Dokpa in the high school without a sound?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. BRDA. Okay. Da. Brada. Which means, like Nyenda means a fire alarm. It means a sign or a sound. Yeah. Okay. All right.
When you said felt, it was like RTO.
Yeah, RTH.
Yeah. Cool. Let's finish Tsongkhapa's quotation. Here we go. Yeah, what's Jikta Thange again? I hope you're good.
Destruction.
Yeah, the inborn view of destruction, which is the first link of the wheel of life. Okay. It's always aimed. Jikta is always aimed at one of two things.
Me or mine.
Me or mine. Yeah. So generally misunderstanding things, generally not seeing the emptiness of things, doesn't trigger samsara. It has to be aimed at Me or mine, okay. And me or mine is not something which is going to last. Therefore, it's destruction. You are viewing something which is going to be destroyed. So this is a very, very famous word for ignorance, specific kind of ignorance, okay, which is aimed at me or mine. Is there jikta in the kitchen?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Why?
Because that husband is showing.
Yeah, because the husband is part of my experience, okay? So if you answer him, if you say, I'm not stupid, you're stupid, then you have which link?
That is second link.
Yeah, second link, making pots, fresh karma, sanskara, okay? So, and lenge means? And what do you always say just after you teach somebody what lenge means?
It's not learned.
That everybody's got it. even
Meaning,
ants.
yeah, you go to bugs. You go to bugs. Klenge is the one that even bugs have. Okay? And there in the Lam Rim, we had recently, take a blade of grass, you push it in the face of an ant, and he will go like this. He's also having jikta. Okay? Klenge. Yeah. So what's Ngarn Zimba?
Tendency to hold himself
The
up.
tendency to believe in me, right? That makes it jikta, right? The object of that, okay, you realize it has no nature of its own, meaning the husband cannot exist without the picture coming out of the seed that I collected with my kids last week, okay? That means doesn't exist by nature. This talks has an S.
Right, realize.
Yeah, as opposed to think, which is wrong. When it has an S, it's a realization. Then you have Nyepa dat tawa.
On the view.
You got to the view, okay? Tsongkhapa. That's how you know you're there, okay? That's the tse, right? I went and got it for you, okay? I captured the folio number for you so you can write your footnote, okay? And
So this is earlier.
we always go check it in the database in case something spelled differently, or in case he didn't say that, or in case the guy's quoting from memory, as we had yesterday from
Abhidharma.
Abhidharma Kosha. He quoted from memory and it was a little bit wrong. Okay, so we always, in this mixed nuts translation school, we always go to the database. We always pull out the quotation. And in this case, he's quoted it perfectly, which is very Choni Lama to do, okay? And here's another paragraph.
Kijuk nor sang ya tse ya.
Good. I like your tse.
Chik durel ki rikpe te tar che pale che dun lan ngay she se man kie ka dei tse. Dei du su nyungu sok den jungi. Shunam lang shin yi madru partok bayin she su.
Now he's going to quote a writer named Kidub Norsang Gyatso. I don't know him. I went and got his information from TBRC, okay? And here he is here, 1423, 1513. I can't find any quotations by him elsewhere. I don't know why he's important to Chonin Lama. The quotation is not that stunning.
Does he not get
Maybe he's in his immediate lineage or something. Okay, so you have to go research that. You can go to TBRC and see associated persons, and see if for some reason he was important to Chonin Lama. Why he would quote him, I don't know, because he's not famous, and the quotation is not like a zoom. It's okay. Okay, so here we go. And that's S here.
by him?
Yeah, he said, here's the verb. He said, okay, this makes it the subject of the sentence. Chiktuta. Oh, he also said, meaning also,
He also.
yeah, not just Tsongkhapa. Norsang Gyatso also said. And what's refreshing about this phrase,
Spelled right.
it's spelled correctly. And it's about 80% of the time it's spelled wrong. Okay? So this tu is
Many.
tuma. It's not a preposition. It's not in one. It's one and many, and it's an abbreviation. Okay? Tutudaki rikpa.
But what is it?
No.
The logic.
Yeah, that logic. When you use that syllogism, things are neither one nor many. Okay? if you do the examination in that way, and having done that through doing it, okay, the lay means through here, okay.
Object of it is,
Now, for $100, everyone's attention is glued on this.
the measure.
I want an explanation of this sema. I want a correct explanation of this sema in light of recent texts we have done.
The real.
Okay. Sema means accurate.
$100.
What did he say?
He said the real one. Yeah, give me 5. Damn, he was fast. $100. What was the example we had? It was a sexy Tibetan word. Yeah, lungkitsema and lungtsema. Good. Explain the difference.
One is a correct understanding based on scripture, and the other one is just a correct scripture.
Good. Yeah, big difference. Lungkitsema
Correct.
means a correct perception, an accurate perception based on scripture, and lungtsema without the key.
Accurate scripture.
Yeah, and here he's got it without the key.
Right.
And Gibson correctly, got lucky for $100. And
Actually, I don't think I would translate it as real.
oh, you don't have to translate it as real, but the point is he got the meaning right. You can say authentic or accurate, or that's okay. It's an adjective. It's an adjective. It's not pramana. It's not pramana. Yeah, that's the cool thing he did. And it's describing the ngeshe. Yeah, the realization really. Okay, so when you see nge, don't always force it into certain. It doesn't have to be. Here it's ngeshe means an understanding, which is accurate. Okay. What would be ngeshe kitsema?
It's an accurate perception
Based on ngeshe. Good, nice. Okay, so we got a nice use of that principle. Whose book was that? It was Adam's text, Logic. Okay, good. Dharmakirti. Okay. Ngeshe tsema, towards the chidden.
the object that you realized in your examination.
Good. The result of your examination. Okay, the result of your examination. Okay. So when you do that examination about whether Sunam or your husband is the same as his yelling face or not, okay, then you get an accurate perception about the result of that examination, okay, kepa, deitse at that point, and then he kind of is repeating say unnecessarily kind of, deitse at that point, at that time, okay, at that point, at that time, you have realized that dependent originating things, such as sprouts, okay, don't exist from their own side without the unifying picture coming out of the karmic seed. Okay, that's what it always means. Okay, which is why he mentioned dependent origination, because that's the picture coming out of the seeds. Okay, maju partopan. Then you did it. Tox. Then you did it. You got to the understanding of emptiness. Okay, cool. Okay. So he just repeats. You have to research. That's your homework assignment. Okay, figure out why he's important to Chonin Lama. I don't know why. He's quite late earlier. He's 200 years earlier. So I don't know why. Why? And I don't think you can find him in the whole database. So All right, we reached a major crossroads. Okay. Please read. It's a very long sentence. Yeah, good. Okay. Now that Tibetan text will just say number 2, and they won't tell you what's number 2. So I usually go and get you number 2. I went the boldest. Yeah, this is new because you are also going faster than you're supposed to. Yeah, I can send it to you. New text. New text. Norsan Gyatso.
Norsan Gyatso.
Yeah. Which one is it?
It's none of those.
I have a new 5-5 for you.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
Like
You fix it, okay? You fix it, okay? You fix the date. You put today's date on it. Okay, there you go. Yeah, I did a little bit in the car because you guys are speeding up noticeably. You guys are going about 25% faster, which means Stanley will finish in 2043 instead of 2046. His text is on schedule to finish in 2046. I will be 94. Oh, money, baby. Okay, so 2 here is the second 2 of here, which means we finished Shitudaki Rikpa. Yay, we finished the one and many proof. And now we're on to the Namdunki Rikpa, the logic of the 7 points. Yeah, that's nice. The logic of the which is the chariot logic, which is very ancient, very famous. Nagasena taught it to King Minendra, taught it to a Greek king, which is kind of sexy. Okay.
you can drop box if anyone else wants it.
Okay, here we go. I think it'd be a sexy book, as I said, in Japan. Some Japanese publisher asked me, "What? You have a book for me?" And I said, "Yeah, I got a book for you. Let's do Nagarjuna's 2 letters to kings as a leadership book, and then let's throw in the letter to, the conversation between Minendra and Nagasena." So in my free time, I'm going to work on that. Okay, here we go.
Shinta rang yen lak le shen de min shen min man shen de den yang min shin yan lak la min yan lak tak de min de bat samin yit min chi shino.
Yeah, these 7 are traditional. They're not exactly logical. Okay, they just kind of jump around. Okay, so don't get frustrated if they seem a little ADD. They probably are. Okay, Shingta. What's the famous Shingta you guys have? Yeah, Shingta Solje means what? Yeah, those who have founded great schools are called inventors of the wheel, right? Okay, yeah. Okay, what's the definition of Shingta?
Wooden horse?
Shingde Solje Shingi Josam Madang or Jikten Deer, Dodun Rawanda Dor Zation, Deta Dor Zepa, Sangi Rangi Lungtembe, Changsem Pakpa. Shingde Solje Kitseni. Okay. Yeah, there's about 20 points in there. Okay, anyway. Okay, so here's the wagon. Is what?
Not itself or its parts.
Yeah, it seems to say, although we'll go there, we disagree, Dumin, that it could be other than its parts.
Yeah.
Okay. Other than its parts.
Right.
We disagree that it's
Not something other.
yeah, that it's not other.
Disagree that it's something.
Somebody tell me what Shen Min Mayin means.
It's not
other.
It is not other.
So cancel the double negative, and what do you get?
It's other.
It's me.
It's not other.
It's itself.
So it's
Right.
not other means itself, but not other means
Other.
it is other. Okay. All right.
Ruling that out.
Yeah, they den young min. It's also not possessed of those parts. Okay. It's not in its parts. The parts are not it. Okay. It's not a simple collection of the parts.
That's not the shape.
And it's not the shape. So you can smell that it's not quite as logically compelling as one in many. I mean, one in many has a nice keba, right? But this is a little bit confusing. Okay. So those guys are going to the other academic track downstairs where they're learning to be DCI speakers, business speakers. Goodbye. Okay. And here's the quotation from Majjhimaka Avatar. Okay. And by the way, yeah, here it is. Shingta Rangyen Lakle Shindu Min. Okay. So it's the same, all right, which is refreshing. Okay. Go ahead.
She Shingta Namdun Ki Rikde Selnami Nye Bakar Dakyang Tedang Pedun Jarne Sumpa Shinjuna.
Yeah. This cell means what?
Said, spoke.
No.
Oh.
Search for. Yeah. Good. What's the common chak cell? To bow down, which means to search for a boon from the hand of the Lama. Okay. So this cell means to look for. If you search for the Shingta,
Yes.
if you search for the car, using the 7-part logic, okay, minye, you will never find the tar. In the same way, the same is true of the dot. The same is true of sunam. Okay. Also, te dam peden jane. If you apply this metaphor to the self, okay. So peden jar means if you apply this, the meaning of this metaphor to the self, it's the same. Jane sung. Apply. What this is saying, what Chandakirti is saying is, apply this metaphor to the self and look for the self in the 7 ways. Okay, look for sunam in these 7 ways. Shinjuna, Sumba Shinjuna. So I'm going to follow Chandakirti. So Juna means if I were to tell you my version. This Juna means if I were to describe it to you. Okay, and then that means I am going to describe it to you. Okay, all right. Okay. Okay. Yeah, Shingdan Dande Yanlat Nam. The car and the parts of the car, okay, don't exist as either Rang Shin Ki Chik. To be one is to be the other, please, okay? Don't say the same, okay? It's to be one is to be the other. That was an important distinction yesterday for $100.
The 3-part test with Adam.
Shell jazz and dopos.
Damn. I'm costing me a lot of money today. Yeah, he's correct.
The 3-part test with Adam.
3-part test of members and groups. What were the 3 tests?
A is B, to be A is to be B.
Yeah, A is B, to be A is to be B. There's things that are B that are not A.
But in this case, there was a 3-part test for the second part of that test.
Yeah, I'm not going there.
Well, that's this, right? I mean, that's, yeah, okay. No, I'm not going there.
No, I'm not going there.
I'm gonna quit while I've got 100.
Yeah, quit. Basically, if you cancel the set, you cancel the member. I mean, roughly. There's other pieces there. Okay. All right. Good. Cool. Yeah. So Rangshin Ki Chik means to be one is to be the other. It doesn't mean one is the other naturally. Okay. Okay. Tade Dumbokayan Matupte. Now. We'll get to my note in a minute. Let's say Shingta. Please go. Shingta. Here's the first of the 7 proofs. Here's the first of the 7 proofs. Shingta Chechen. Yeah. No, phrase it differently.
Oh, right.
Good. Good. Yeah, this should be Shindu, right? Sorry. Shindu. Kyokyang. This is not B. This is Tu. Tumar. Tawa. Tang.
Your way.
This is your homework today. It's the same point.
Yeah.
The 5 and the 5 and the 1 and the 1. Okay, same point. Okay, so here we go. Take a shinta. Take a car. Let's use a car. I don't like chariots. Okay. Okay. It's not true that to be the car is to be its parts automatically. By nature, meaning without the picture coming out of your karmic seed, okay? By itself, without karma. It's not true that the husband could exist without yelling at the kids. Yelling husband, not possible. Somebody complained to me, or where was I, in China somewhere, and they said, why are you always talking about the kitchen? I said, if a sutra doesn't talk about a kitchen, it's not a sutra. Because sutras were written for people to have better experiences in the kitchen. Okay, anyway, Rangi Yana Namdra Ranshiki Chi Minte, okay, it is not its parts. Okay, why? Good, if it were, then in the same way that yenlocks are tuma,
In the same way that the parts
are
many,
many, then there would be many
there will be many
cars.
cars.
There would have to be many cars. Kyo means him, it.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, there would have to. If the car were its parts, then the car would have to be plural.
Right.
It'd have to be more than one car. Or if you switch the other way around, which you had on your homework, in the same way that
In the same way that
car is one, then the parts would have to be one part. Okay? If to be Sunam is to be her body and mind, automatically, without the karmic seed. Okay? Got it? Without dependent origination. Now, which one of these 7 did he just talk about?
I have this feeling that's number 2, actually.
It's irritating to me.
Yeah.
I think he went to number 2 first.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? I think he went to Shen Min Mayin. It's other. Because this one, we disagree that it's other than its parts, right? Or maybe I'm wrong, okay? Let's check it, okay? Number 1 is, I disagree that it's other than its parts, which means it is the same as its parts, okay? And the second one was, I disagree that it's not other, which means it is other. So the first one, I disagree that it's different from its parts. The second one, I disagree that it's not different from its parts. Okay, got it? So which one is he talking about first down here? It is not one and the same with its parts, which means it's other. Which is the second one, which is irritating to me. But I may be wrong. So you have to, maybe, you have to go home and think about it, okay? It seems out of order to me. I was trying to connect this order to the verse. And it seems like he might be out of order, but I want you to confirm it, okay? Okay, cool. Now we go to the next. There's going to be 7 of these syllogisms, right? By the way, the third one is 5 for sure. And the fourth one is 4th, and the 5th one is 3. So I don't know why he put them out of order, but maybe to him it made more sense, okay? Yeah. Okay, go ahead. Second syllogism out of 7. Yeah.
which I'm assuming is the same. Let's take that.
Yeah, Shinta. Is it Shinta? Was it Shinta? Okay, yeah. Let's take a car.
Rangi and lek nam tang drupe soso wama yin. Yina bumpa tang nam shin tu kyu ka kyu rangi yama le yengar tu sosor mik gu pa le dema tongwe ju.
Cool. Daichi Chen, take the car. This has got to be $50. I'm sorry. Ngudrup.
It's not established as being each of the parts individually.
Ngudrup. Just give me Ngudrup.
And then it appears to you on its own. Directly established?
What's ngudu? Yeah, attainment. Very common Tibetan name, but she's wrong. But she's wrong. It doesn't mean attainment here. It does not mean attainment here. She has to give me $50.
That's a lot.
Just kidding. No, just kidding. Now, somebody note the pa, please. Yeah, he made an adjective out of ngundu, which I've never seen.
As it,
Attainmentular.
on its own, it's able to
Nice.
establish.
On its only.
Yeah.
Okay, on its ownish. Okay, ngusutu par. He made a new word because he didn't want to keep repeating Rangshin Ki. Yeah, by nature, self-existently, from its own side. 21 synonyms. Okay, we covered them in Shenzhen, right? Now it's 22. Yeah, he just invented a new word for self-existent. Cool. Okay, he said, happen on its own. Really happen. This ngu is really ngusu. Ngusu tupa. It's not ngutup. Okay, so don't say ngutup. Say ngusu tupa. Okay, and it's a new word for self-existent. 'Cause I think he got tired of saying Rangshinki. He got tired of saying naturally or automatically, so he said ngusu tupa. Really, actually. Yeah. Okay, got it. You always have to have a word in these things for self-existently without yelling at the kids. Okay, so Rangi Yanla Nam.
It's not really its individual parts.
It is not a sosowa. It's not separate. It's not a separate thing. Sunam is not a separate entity. Sunam is not a separate actual entity from her parts. Okay? Yeah. She's not separate from her parts, actually. Meaning without yelling at the kids. Okay? Why not? Did you do this part?
No.
You did do this part. I remember you did this part. Okay, sorry, interrupt you. Okay, if it were separate, okay, if it were separate from its parts, really, okay, actually, then if yina means sosowa, okay, if it really were separate from its parts, then a water pot. Nambu means a bolt of cloth. Okay, a bolt of cloth. Okay, shindu, kiranki yena le yenkardu, sosor migapa. It would have to be as different from its parts as it is from a water pitcher and a bolt of cloth. What? The car. The car would have to be as different from its parts as it is from a coffee cup. Okay, the car would have to be as different from its parts as it is from a coffee cup. Someone give me yen garwa for $20.
Both?
We had it recently. You learned it this week. For the first time, you learned it this week.
It's a fun learned it.
Okay, you didn't learn it this week. Yankar means totally separate and disconnected. We had it somewhere. Somebody had it.
It totally sounds familiar.
Yeah, say Yankarwa. Yeah, it means totally separate and.
In his book in the last article.
Yeah. Garwa, by the way, means blacksmith. So be careful. If you say a G, if you say Garwa, it's a blacksmith. Okay. Yeah. Gar. Yeah. But this is car. Kyak pachepala kup ke.
No.
Chak chepala garwa ke. Come on, have some fun.
Something cuts poop and something else.
Yeah.
If you want to cut metal.
If you want to cut metal, hire a gardwa.
Like that.
If you want to cut poop, hire your bung hole. Okay, famous philosophy.
We're at time.
Because it cuts very well. I'm just trying to teach you blacksmith. I'm not making a dirty joke. Yeah, okay, let's go back to the text. if it were totally yang karwa, okay, if it were totally separate from its parts, okay, in the way that it's separate from a coffee cup, okay, then you would have to see them as separate things. The car's over there and the car's parts are over there. Whereas the lay is disjunctive. Whereas we don't see that. Whereas we don't see it that. We don't see cars over there and car parts over there if it were not connected to its parts. If it were totally sosowa and yen karwa, not garwa. Okay, good. Cool.
Thank you.
You are very welcome. Your text is getting really sexy. Stop. By the way, I mean, you see these points everywhere, and they're not clear. And he's doing a good job with them. So that's kind of why we chose this text. 16 today? 19. Text. We posed this text. Paki Joshi Metotam Rira Blingshin Yende Gyampadi Sangye Shindu Mekde Wagi Dokunanda Shina Chepasho Idam Guru Radhamandana Kamyatayami Dikewokan Sanam Yeshe Totsokshin Sanam Yeshe Lechume Tampakuni Toparsho Shogadi Shmogadi. Pee-pee break. 10 minutes.